Hello, wonderful people. I welcome you once again to Bright and Clara's channel. This is episode 17 and it's all about burglar proofing. Once you start your plastering, the next thing you have to think about is burglar proofing. Burglar proofing provides the security that we need due to the emerging robbery in some parts of Ghana. If you're living in a gated community, I believe this is not for you. But there are those of us that live in the volatile community, we are subjected to such incidences, and therefore there's a lot of investment when it comes to burglar proofing. There are so many companies that provide burglar proofing with its costs. So what you're seeing in your shot now is a burglar proofing company that I contacted. The name of the company is Jachons International, and their burglar proofing is quite unique because you're able to slide it to the extreme left hand side. Yes, most burglar proofing are fixed, and therefore for you to be able to have access to your sliding glass in terms of cleaning and whatsoever becomes extremely difficult. And also recently there was a fire outbreak in some houses, and because they had fixed burglar proof, they were unable to escape from the room. And therefore, in as much as you're thinking about security, safety, you also have to think about your well-being in terms of an emergency, how to evacuate from your room. Once you're able to do that, then I guess you're free. So upon reviewing this burglar proof, I realized that it's unique. It's able to slide to the extreme left hand side without any hitches. You can have free access to your glass, but then the durability is questionable, because once the burglar comes and breaks this glass, he will just pick a crowbar and jack that thing open. Why? Because the bars are not fitted into the wall. There is no mortar, there's nothing. What they do is that they screw it into the wall, that's all. So if anything that is only screwed into the wall, it doesn't give me that safety that I'm looking for, even though it looks beautiful. All what you see there is riveted. It is not welded, it's all riveted. Yes, so I went to the market to look for the local ones, and I gave them the same design. So what you're seeing now is what I opted for upon going to the local market. And the earlier one you saw was from Jachons International, and the quote they gave me was 22,000. I think no, 20,040 something, yes. But what you're seeing now is from the local market, and what he's doing is called filing. Yes, filing. And there are 4 stages of this process. Once you're done with welding, you have to do what we call filing. After the filing, you have to apply what we call the filler. After the filler, you have to sandpaper all the rough edges where you applied the fillers. You need to sandpaper all those places to smoothen those areas. So filing is what you're seeing the gentleman doing. After the sandpaper, you move to what we call the primer. Primer is a chemical that is added to the bars or the galvanized pipe to prevent it from corrosion. Yes. So we add primer, and after the primer, we provide the spraying. That's the color of your choice. Yes, the color of your choice. Like I was showing you earlier on, you realize that the earlier video that I showed you, it was not welded. All that you saw was riveted. It's all riveted, meaning that there is no part of it that was welded. So the belief is that anything that is welded has a tendency to corrode. But it's not entirely true, because once you provide all the mechanism like what I indicated, after the welding you have to do filing to remove all those sharp edges that can cause injury. After that, you have to apply the filler, like what you're seeing now in your shot is what he's doing. He's applying the filler to all those rough edges. After the filing, he applied those filler. After the filler, he needs to sandpaper all those edges. And once he's finished sandpapering, he applied the chemical called the primer. And after the primer, then they'll go with the spraying, that's with the color of your choice. I went for gray, and it's matching with the same color that's of my window glass. Yes, so I got quotations from different people. The initial video you watched, which was riveted, the quotation I received from the guy was 20,000 and something. Yes, 20,000 and over. So I was contemplating, and it didn't give me that security that I needed. Looking at the area that I come from, my house is in Kaswa, and therefore I needed to make sure we are secure. So I went to the market and I had so many options, but I selected this man called Mr. Williams. And the quote he gave me was, in total was around 9,420. 9,420. And then he said I needed to buy a primer, which is the chemical I talked about. The chemical was then going for 350, because I didn't know much about this, but I needed to do my research. So all of it gave me that amount, a total of 9,770. Yes, 9,770. So I bargained with him and I paid 8,000. Yes, 8,000, because he said the governance pipes are quite expensive. Most people will charge you for governance pipe, but since you don't know governance pipe, they go to the market and they buy the normal metal pipe or metal sheets. Are you with me? So he was making sure that he gives me the quality that I needed. Yes, so I paid 8,000 for all the burglar proofing in my 4-bedroom house. In your shot is a sliding one I requested him to do for me. I'm going to put this in the kitchen. Why? Because in my kitchen I didn't want any burglar proofing that will consume a lot of space in the kitchen. Once you open it, it takes a lot of space out of view, and therefore I needed something that will slide, and then I can enjoy all the space in my kitchen. Since there's going to be a kitchen island, yes, and therefore he's demonstrating how flexible it is. In the earlier burglar proof that I showed you, you see that the rollers are fitted at the top, so you don't have sand and other unwanted particles going in there. But with this one, the rollers are at the bottom, and therefore you always have to keep it clean, such that you can have a smooth opening and avoid some noise. All you have to do is making sure that you put in WD-40 or add a little bit of grease most of the time. If you have a vacuum, you can suck all the dust within the rails to avoid the noise. But overall, he did a good job for me, and at a total cost of 8,000. As to whether it was overcharged or undercharged, I have no clue though, but for me it was reasonable because he's using the quality material for me, and that's a galvanized pipe. Yes. So in your shots now, he's applying what we call the primer. Like I indicated, there are 5 stages. One is molding the frames, which is the welding of after he's done with welding, they will do the filing. The filing takes away the rough edges that can cause injury. They are very sharp, so they do the filing, and then after the filing they will apply the filler, and after the filler they have to sandpaper all those areas where they apply the fillers. And after the filler, he applied the primer. The primer is what you're seeing in your shot now. Like I indicated, it's an anti-corrosion paint and also helps in increasing the beauty of your selected paint. Once they add that paint or they do the spraying, it brings it the beauty as well. So that is exactly what he's doing. So all this comes part of the charges he quoted for me. You understand? Because after the welding, they have to do all those processes and then do the spraying. And the paint also, they have to go to the market and buy the paint. Mostly they mix the paints to achieve a certain color, and therefore they have to mix 2 to 3 paints in order to achieve the color that you want. You understand? They have quality paint and the bad ones. So these ones can hardly fade, because some they can do the spraying and once there's a scratch you see the paint peeling off. But this one, once he puts this primer and then he add the paint of your choice, it will never come off. It will never come off. Yes. So that is the main essence. If you don't follow the same process, you can have your burglar proof and they'll spray it nicely, and then the little bit of a scratch, you see that the paint is coming off. You understand? So I chose this design because it's simple and unique. Yeah, the design, it's simple and unique, and it didn't make me feel as though I was in prison. And I made it fixed in almost all the rooms, but not entirely, because I wanted to make sure that in case of an emergency, we can have an escape. So I left 2 to 3 burglars. Those areas, I made it openable, where we can open it in terms of an emergency. We can open that particular burglar proof and exit. So in your shot now, you're seeing the final touches, which is the spraying. Yes, that's the color of my choice. So I chose gray color, and the gray color is matching with that of the aluminum frame of my window glass. Yes, so like I was saying, if in case of an emergency in your room, how will you escape? Yes, so all the people in the room should be educated in terms of evacuation procedures. And therefore, since I have a 4-bedroom, I have to indicate about 3 exit location, depending on where the fire or the hazard is happening, and therefore we can escape safely. So not all the burglars are fixed. Some are openable, where we lock them with a padlock. You understand? And the key is placed in a known place for everybody. Yes. So if you have any questions, suggestions regarding the fixed burglar proof, kindly drop me your comment. Let's have a discussion. Yes, so whether you go for the earlier video you saw or you go for this one, because I'm looking at the cost. Yes, so I'll give you details in the description below. The earlier guy's quotation and then the one I selected. This man, his name is Mr. William. I will vow for him any day, anytime. Whatever work you want him to do, he will do it. He keeps giving me updates day in, day out. Yes, and I love his work. Yes, paying 8,000 for all the work he did was extremely overwhelming for me though. So that is the locking system he provided for the sliding one. There are 2 entrances to my house, like I indicated in episode 16. That's from the main porch. So this door is for the porch, and then the kitchen, I did the sliding one. So I'm fitting wooden doors for all my rooms, and therefore behind the main entrance door I'm going to have one burglar proof at the main entrance door, and then the sliding one also at the kitchen. You understand? So in your shot you're seeing the outcome of the work he did. So beautiful. You can pause it and watch it slowly. Yes, you can pause it and then watch it slowly. It's so beautiful. The color selection, the finishing work is completely on point. Are you with me? So yes, all I have to do is educate the people in my room as to evacuation procedures, and then in case there's an outbreak, this is where you're supposed to rally to an assembly point, and then we can all escape from there. In your shot now, you're seeing the final work that he did. He's going to transport this to the site, but before that he needs to wrap these rubbers around it to avoid the stain from the mason, because like I indicated, once you're doing your plastering, you can do both the inside and the outside, and then later the masons will take their time to do the window dressing. Window dressings are very, very important, and it requires patience. And if your mason is not patient enough, they can have a crooked and uneven plastering for you, because once you do that, when the aluminum frame is coming to fit in, it makes it difficult. There are holes beneath and they are not even and flat. You understand? So always window dressing are the last thing they do. Once you fit your burglar proof, they take their time and do the window dressing, and that is exactly what I encounter at my site. The glass man and the burglar proof man had a good coordination. I was really impressed about their coordination, because they didn't want the burglar proof man to just come and fix and then go. The aluminum frame man was aside because he needed a certain diameter between the burglar proof and that of the aluminum glass, and therefore they didn't want it to be that closer. There should be some space in between. So he was at the site the day of the installation of the burglar proof, and then he guided the burglar proof man in a way that will help him, the glass man, as well, once he's about installing his aluminum frame. And that coordination was perfect. So in your shot, you're seeing exactly the wrapping of all the burglar proof to avoid a stain from the mason. You understand? So lovely viewers, so far so good. If you've not subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel. Help me to grow. I need your support, one day at a time. Leave me your comment, your suggestions. They are all welcome. I will answer all of them for you. If you have any query, anything, just let me know. We are there to help one another. I learn from all the YouTube videos that I watch. I pick something from there. I just do not watch it like that. No, I watch and I take note. And in fact, I have to congratulate one gentleman, Mr. Frank. We call him Danasei. And thank you so much for your love and support. Yes, I really appreciate all the advice you've given me. I'm new when it comes to this YouTube and social media, and therefore I'm still learning. Yes, thank you, Mr. Paul from the US. Thank you, Gladys Martins. Thank you. A lot of them, I can't even remember most of the names, but I'm grateful. So in your shot, you're seeing the estimate the burglar proof man gave me. You can pause it and then view it. It's not in the best way though, but you can view it. So upon reaching my site, he realized that my gate was deteriorating, so he had to manage it for me. So in your shot, you're seeing what he did in order to support me. In case you need Mr. Williams' services, which I can vouch for, please do not hesitate to take his number. Let me know. I'll keep his number in the description below. You can pick it up and contact him. Wherever you are, he will come and work for you. Yes, honesty pays a lot, and therefore, if you have such artisans working for you and they are honest with you, I believe that's fine. Communication is key, and therefore you can have the best of artisans, but if you're not a good communicator, you can lose them. You understand? So always communicate to them properly, not to look down on them. Yes. So my lovely people, thank you once again for your support. I am so grateful. Please hit the subscription. It's on your right hand side. Subscribe. It's written there. Just click on it. It's written subscribe. Just click on it and then hit the notification bell and give it a like. It helps the algorithm of YouTube to share it for wider audience. In the final touch, you'll be seeing a gate that he molded. He wanted me to promote that gate for him. In case you are interested in the gate, not necessarily you buying the same gate, but in case you need a gate, a burglar proof or a balustrade, whatsoever you need, just contact Mr. William in your shot now. Yes, that's Mr. William. Yes, he will be at your service. Yes, he's there for you 24/7. Are you with me? So I'll leave all the details in the description below. The quotation I got from Mr. Williams, which I approved, is Mr. William. And then from the other video, which is the first video you saw on the burglar proof, I will leave that also, the details in the description below for your viewing. Thank you so much, fellow people, and God bless you all. Bye-bye.